The Columbia River Treaty was signed and ratified in 1961 and 64. It came into force in 1964, requiring Canada to build 3 new dams, and has led to coordinated operation on the river. It's pretty amazing, the coordination that goes on in order to essentially maximize power production and flood control.
The treaty was implemented or basically drafted back in '64 to protect the lower river from some floods. So they permanently flooded upriver communities to protect downriver interests.
We have many problems with this treaty from an environmental perspective: the exclusive focus on hydropower production and flood control, the failure to address the environmental and social and economic impacts of reservoirs.
Because this is such a big deal to the United States, the 15 tribes in the Columbia Basin on the U.S. side coalesced together and developed a working relationship with common goals, common objectives, common views about what to do about the treaty reconsideration. As we like to say, create a 3-legged stool along with power and flood risk management, have ecosystem management in there as well.
The Corps' background and expertise is in flood risk management. BPA's is in hydropower generation. The tribe's background and expertise has been, for time immemorial, has been ecosystem function, take care of Mother Earth and it'll take care of us. So.
The Arrow Dam, the first dam on the system to be built in Canada. This is a reservoir that would be created that was 145 miles long. Very similar to the size of the reservoir of Lake Roosevelt behind Grand Coulee. There was no consultation with affected tribes in the US or Canada. There just wasn't time, or there just wasn't a need.
In 1956, the Canadian government declared my people, which are the Sinaiaks people, extinct, which in all honesty, in my mind, was very, very close to the Columbia River Treaty. The Sinaiaks are still living by the river. We're still by the Columbia. We've been river people all of our lives. We're called lakes, but we're called lakes because of the Arrow Lakes.
There was no sensitivity to the displacement of over 2,300 settlers. There just wasn't time to be sensitive to the needs of people who were going to lose their way of life.
It was tragic, really. The burnings of the farms. You would see smoke, smoke, smoke. And for 2 years, they started really actively burning in about 1968. And you could look down and say, oh, there goes the Fitch farm, and whoof, you know. And as farm after farm was burned to the ground, it caused deaths. It caused a lot of heart attacks. It was unbelievable.
See, we never did sell our property to BC Hydro. We just gave BC Hydro rights to flood the reservoir level. Yeah, like I say, there were only four houses that I recall were moved. Ours were all burnt.
There was no consideration of ecological principles, such as the aquatic and wetland losses and the terrestrial losses accompanying the river. Again, there just really wasn't time.
At that time, there were 2 proposals. Low Arrow Dam, which would flood the valley up to its natural high water mark, so nothing would be lost. And the other option was High Arrow Dam, which would bring it up an additional 40 vertical feet. And everybody voted for Low Arrow, everybody. And High Arrow was just pushed through.
We've managed our system here not only in the absence of salmon, we've managed our system here in the absence of ecosystem management to a great degree. I think I can clearly and articulately say that's not a priority on KINABASKET Reservoir. So for us to move from that type of operation, one where we're predominantly looking at flood control, first of all, remember, and the benefits are accrued downstream for flood control, and then hydropower. And if we're looking at then integrating other values for ecosystem, the thing about the treaty, and the big point is that not all the values of the system were recognized in the operations of the treaty, and there still aren't. So that's the struggle. How do we change the treaty to better recognize more values, multiple values, other than just hydropower and flood control?
But I'm hopeful that we are having a growing awareness that we can no longer treat the Columbia River system as a mere machine. Restoring fish passage into historical areas for which they're currently blocked can be a critical element of integrating ecosystem management into a modernized, equitable treaty.